Hey there everyone! Welcome back to another exciting video for the Shibarium community and its partners. I'm Cezanne SHIB, and my mission is to spread knowledge and positivity within the Shibarium ecosystem. This video is the 43rd of all X-Space Weekly DAO Update series. This X-Space was held November 14th, 2024.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another K9 Finance Weekly DAO Update Spaces, episode 43. Bitcoin at an all-time high, and we're here to talk about it today, amongst other things, with a crew from K9 Finance. Hi, I'm Pulse Digital. I get to run the K9 Finance account for our weekly DAO update. If you've been here 42 other times before, you already know that, but let's just assume that maybe you pulled up for the first time. We're going over a weekly update for all the things that have happened in the last 7 days at K9 Finance, which is an Ethereum/Shibarium token providing liquid staking for Bone and beyond on Shibarium as part of Shiba Inu's L2 platform. So we're going to pin some posts up there. We're going to put speakers in place to talk about the subjects today, but we're going to be here for a great show. If you're going to request a spot, we can get you up here in the speaker spot if you've got updates for us this week. If you got something going on, questions maybe for Buzz while we're here, because we got him here this week to ask questions. If you can't use your microphone, the comment section has been curated specifically for you. There's a slot down there with your name on it for you to leave your comment. You can tag whoever it's for. That way we don't get lost. We can use it. Also, please share the spaces if you're somewhere where you can put it on your timeline, or maybe invite somebody here. And last is emojis, which are free. You can use them as many times as you want. We can see them. It helps us out. So, panel assembled. I'm ready to go. Buzz, it's been a week. I mean, I know you've been on spaces a lot, but what a week it has been.
What a week. Yeah, no, it's been crazy. I feel like the theme of the week has been like, okay, where is this top signal going to be coming in with like where value is going to be flowing from Bitcoin to alts? Like the market to me seems as though people agree on a lot of things. They agree that Bitcoin's going higher, ETH is underpriced, altcoins are underpriced, and we maybe need a little bit of time to cool down. Bitcoin dominance is going to top, and then value is going to flow into alts. I feel like people have been here for a while. They've kind of been listening to a lot of the stuff that we've been talking on spaces like this, but also others, and tweets that have been put out. And it's almost just a patient waiting game for the rest of the market. I'm very excited about, as you should be, with the price action that's going on right now. And you're right, I have been on an awful lot of spaces, but this is actually the first time ever that I've been on a space where I've seen what it looks like when you have someone who's blocked who is attending the spaces. I didn't realize you could actually see that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Welcome to the club. Isn't that hilarious? And they are definitely aware. Those are fun. Sometimes that happens when you're on X long enough. You'll see things like that. It's been a great week. It's been fun watching Bitcoin. There's two things you got me tracking. The Coinbase ranking was number 7 today, which I'm sure you saw that notification early this morning too. And then Bitcoin dominance, which is the other thing, which there's been some conversations about in a few of the different groups that I'm in. There are people working on kind of chewing on the concept of Bitcoin dominance. So what do you think about those two metrics this week?
Well, those are my favorite indicators. It's looking at Bitcoin dominance. I think hit a top of around 61%. I was kind of thinking like, oh, it'll go to 63. So I wouldn't be surprised if it goes much higher. But I was actually having a conversation with the SHIB account yesterday. Just shout out to the SHIB account who's here. And we were talking about, okay, what's the next move? And just kind of having some fun and chatting about it. And personally, the way that I feel is that value is going to flow into Ethereum next. If you look at the chart of ETH BTC over the course of the last year, there's been a little bit of a pump and ETH kind of gaining some steam on Bitcoin just in the last maybe 5 days. But if you were to look at that ETH BTC chart, it looks like a meme coin that got rugged. And this little pump up in ETH is just very, very minute in size. Like ETH is still almost a couple $1,000s away from reaching an all-time high. I don't think there's many detractors out there who are saying it's not going to reach an all-time high. I think that ETH is looking very, very much so it feels like we're back in I think it was 2021 when we were transitioning from proof of work to proof of stake. Vitalik put out these blog posts that really united the ETH community to understand the vision and where things were going. Vitalik went dark for a while, and he resurfaced recently, and he put out some more blog posts about what the KPIs and the vision and the building and whatnot that's going on for Ethereum is. And the ETH community feels very united. It feels like there's an ETF out now. The community knows where we're building, and there's an end in sight. So I'm very bullish on ETH moving forward. I think that's where value is going to flow first. And the next thing to look at are ERC20 tokens on ETH, quote unquote SHIB, Bone, K9, things like that. Bad idea, which we're going to talk about here. And that's kind of been, as somebody who's been through several market cycles now, being here since 2016, that's kind of what I was very excited about for my third time going through this market cycle, is just being able to know what's coming and maybe kind of say, you can never predict prices, right? But you can maybe predict patterns. And that's what I've been trying to kind of pass along, is like, hey, look at the Coinbase app ranking, look at Google Trends and stuff like that. And this is just a really exciting time.
All right, so what is Doge going up like it's gone up, and all of the related material mean for dog-related cryptocurrencies?
I think it's bullish. I think that Doge is often seen as the villain of SHIB, right? But and maybe the SHIB account has something to comment on this. And I know that there's going to be a SHIB versus Doge debate space, which I've put up into the Jumbotron this weekend, Saturday at 1 p.m. But I think it just puts more eyeballs on the space. Like you've been talking about it, Pulse, that the top, there's a lot of people that are underwater in Doge and are kind of resurfacing, seeing what's up. And I think it poses as a great opportunity for SHIB to really highlight everything that's been built since the last time this many eyeballs are on the industry. Like, I think if somebody was resurfacing and they either bought SHIB or bought Doge in the last run up, if they're coming back now thinking, oh my gosh, like Doge is up 140% in the last week, and they look into what's going on with SHIB now, I think they'd be pretty impressed with everything that's been built and the ecosystem that's been created. There's Shibarium, there's hope of the metaverse coming soon, there's hope of the doggy DAO coming soon. There's a lot to look forward to. And I think that Doge running up like this and bringing new retail eyes into the market is a really great opportunity for SHIB to shine.
I agree with a lot of that, but I want you to play counterpoint for me just a second on your own argument. Has Doge done anything similar? Because a lot of us here are aware of the SHIB ecosystem, but as part of maybe a glimpse into what that debate could be like, do you know of anything that Doge has done as far as ecosystem projects? Do they have a DAO? Do they have games that are developed? And if so, how? Like, that's the stuff we need to get into, right?
I'm not as educated as most. I know that there's wallets. There's I think they're working on inscriptions. I think most. Oh, they actually just did an event in Japan. I think was it Japan, somewhere like that. But I'm not as educated as most on what's going on in Doge land. To be honest, I do know that one of the main points of the debate is going to be that Doge is inflationary and SHIB is deflationary. And the more that we use Shibarium, the more that SHIB becomes deflationary. So I know that's going to be a key point that's highlighted.
Yep, I already saw comments about that. So everybody make sure you tune in when we do that. If you're following most of the accounts up here, you're likely to get a notification when that happens. But that's on Mariona Falls Roundtable Spaces on Saturday, Saturday Spaces to tune into. Now, there have been other things that have happened, but I can't wait any longer because there are people that are tuning in that need to know about the bonus tokens. The questions have been coming all week, and we've been telling them to tune into the spaces. And I've gone 10 minutes. I can't go any longer. What's up with the bad idea bonus tokens? What can we tell everybody about that?
Yeah, so that's going to be going live right after the space. So at exactly 4 p.m. Eastern time, people are going to be able to earn bad idea tokens if they are doing liquid staking farming on the K9 platform. So if you have KN Bone, you've paired it with Bone, and you're farming on the K9 platform, you're going to automatically start earning not only escrow K9, but bad idea tokens too. So there's going to be about a 2% APR bump for 1 month. So Mr. Lightspeed, who's here, has kindly offered up tokens from the BAD community to work together with K9 and promote liquid staking for the betterment of Shibarium. And that's going to be a 1 month campaign. It's going to be about 2 to 3% APR boost over the course of the year. But for 1 month, people are not only going to receive escrow K9, but they're going to get Bad Idea tokens as well. And I know that one thing people are going to be really excited about is there's actually no requirement to vest those Bad Idea tokens. So as soon as you're earning them, you're going to be able to claim them and have them immediately in your wallet. So that's a bit of a difference in the farming module right now. And it's our first partner and very excited for it. So we're just over 45 minutes away from people starting to earn there. And I'm pretty excited to see this as a case study to start to approach other projects on Shibarium and see what sort of social metrics and community growth and cross collaborations can come out of this. Because I think there's about 450 people who are currently farming on our platform, just to see how many new holders Bad Idea gets and how it can be a success for not only our community, but theirs too.
So then for Mr. Lightspeed, I would ask this question because I saw a post that was going around and Archangel had written this. It was said that one of the best blueprints for success for Shibarium would be to capture the initial liquidity on Ethereum, move a portion of that liquidity to Shibarium, and then begin providing rewards and benefits over there. And having done that with Bad Idea here, and then watching K9 do the same thing, and Archangel was highlighting LTD when he did it. What's it like to be able to provide for K9 another layer of Shibarium rewards? Like, it's been a long time coming to be able to do that, right?
I like the idea of moving more liquidity over to Shibarium. It locks things up over on Ethereum. The token is then minted outright on Shibarium, and I'm more interested in looking at seeing how that it changes hands over the coming months, and or people hold on to the rewards. And we plan to do more of that. There's more liquidity placements we can do over on Shibarium to deepen liquidity and whatnot. But yeah, the whole idea of moving more of Bad Idea over to Shibarium over a period of time is part of our plan, and we want it to be used. And so this gives it a purpose as well. And I'm sure there's going to be other ways to farm the token as well, and so there's some examples from K9 I think we can follow, and so I'm looking forward to it. Plus, it gives some exposure. This is in a way free marketing. Someone's going to wonder, if they're new to the ecosystem or anything, they got some tokens, they want to come check us out. I encourage them to come visit our community and ask some questions.
So the two questions I would have then, since the tokens are being rewarded on Shibarium, Bad Idea is available on Shibarium at multiple locations already, right? So if people wanted more, they could get that.
Absolutely, yeah. You can buy it up, and it should be fairly simple. I think I'm going to put up another liquidity pair to make it even more accessible. But right now we got 2 liquidity pools in place.
And then is the goal then for this to lead to discovery for Sarah? Because I saw the post from the Bad Idea account talking about reach out to her. Is all of this still to drive users on the bot? Is that one of the most important metrics here?
It's the biggest metric that we can get. And we are upgrading her so that she'll be further monetized, which means further opportunities for us to buy back and do some burns for the token or apply it as additional liquidity on Shibarium to increase the TVL there. So ultimately, the whole concept is based upon the use of the bot and for people to buy various features.
Excellent. So T-minus 45 minutes until the rewards start going live for Bad Idea. Make sure you guys have the contract addressed for that so that you can see yourself accumulating. And if you have any questions, you can follow up in the appropriate places for K9 customer support if you need anything there. So thank you, Bad Idea. Thank you, Mr. Lightspeed, and everybody who set this up and got it all going. It's very, very cool. The roundtable meeting, which we talked about last week, has occurred. We need to know what occurred. So either Turtle, if you want to get into it since we haven't heard from you yet, or Buzz, if you want to jump into roundtable meeting notes, please.
Yeah, I hit the wrong thumb there. Sorry about that. I can cover the roundtable. So we had a great meeting on Monday, had full attendance, which is always nice to see, people taking their position very seriously, which just a quick reminder, if anyone wants to be part of the roundtable, it's always open application. You can find that on the website. As far as the proposals that were covered, we always kind of go over an update of everything K9 has accomplished, which we had a pretty good body of topics for that. We don't usually cover all of that on the space, but maybe there's a few things I'll get into. Really the meat and potatoes is which proposals were put forward and how does the roundtable see them. So the first one that we went over was the Google Cloud Partner Program, which, if you're familiar, some of the cloud providers have like kind of startup or launch partnerships that you can join them for. And if you put a significant amount of your infrastructure on their cloud platform, you're able to receive up to $100,000 of server cost offset for the first year and another $20,000 in the second year. And since K9 has deployed everything meaningful into Google Cloud infrastructure, it occurred to us that we should apply for the Google Cloud Partner Program. So we've been polishing things up in the background to make sure that our submission would look as good as possible, assuming the DAO wanted to move forward with submitting to this program. And the roundtable was fully supportive, had a few great questions about, is there any ongoing risk or anything of that nature, any ongoing commitment? And the answer kind of is no. It's mostly a net positive is what everyone sees that as. So that received full support and will be going into Snapshot for a vote soon. The next proposal that was reviewed is a 4-month budget. So there was some reduction in budget, kind of just tightening down the hatches, making sure we're operating efficiently, as well as including the ability to be flexible for growth. We know there's an imminent treat launch. We know there's other great things coming for Shibarium. So the DAO wants to remain in a very nimble position, but have kind of a baseline budget approved. And that was also fully supported by the roundtable and will be going to Snapshot with the other proposal soon. Lastly, there was a third proposal about strengthening the liquidity on the K9 Uniswap pool. I think Buzz's tweet in the Nest about market cap versus treasury is telling. That's as much as I can say. But where the price is now seems like a good place for us to reinforce with another 250,000 of liquidity in the main Uniswap pool. And that was also fully supported by the roundtable and will be on Snapshot. As far as Snapshot goes, we usually would have these votes up the night of or the morning after the roundtable. We're anticipating to have them up by Friday. The delay is just due to kind of a new process that we're following to make sure we're accurately representing all of the votes for Shibarium users, which involves ingesting a bunch of data, tallying things up, double checking it, and then importing to Snapshot. So in the process of doing that among other operational things and hoping to have that done by Friday.
That sounds intense. Is that fair to say that I'm not trying to go over the top here, but that doesn't sound easy, right?
A lot of times it's like, oh, it seems so simple until you get into it. And with big data and blockchains, there's all sorts of edge cases that pop up. I mean, I could probably talk for a half an hour about those, bore everyone to death. But yeah, it is more work than it sounds like when you say it fast. So I appreciate the recognition there. I know the developers do too.
To come to Turtle's defense too, I don't know if anybody remembers our past Snapshot votes, but sometimes they would be up on Snapshot within an hour of a roundtable meeting commencing. If people remember, there was a forum post in the forum discussing what we should do about voting moving forward, since Snapshot does not support Shibarium, and it was decided that we would do the manual process, and Turtle is grinding away, using the big data that we've created in BigQuery to get the Shibarium data into Snapshot to facilitate this. But for anyone wondering, that's why it's not as quick, but we're getting it done. We're making sure that all token holders on Shibarium have an equal voice, and that's how it should be.
no matter how difficult it is. I appreciate that. Everybody down in the listener spots who's still catching this, round of emojis, please, for Turtle and for everyone that's going through that work, because that was something that we did have a discussion about, and it was decided that they would do this work, and they have chosen to pick up these shovels and dig. So very grateful for their decision to do that, because Snapshot, it's not making it easy. And that's a whole nother discussion. Now, there have been front-end improvements that I know about that have been made to the DApp recently. And either one of you, Buzz or Turtle, I'm not sure which one would want to talk about that more.
I can gloss over it, and then Turtle is going to be better for the latter half. So the main improvement is that just in regards to the bonus tokens, people will see in about 40 minutes they're a very nice UI, slick UI that'll be showing like what your APR is and what your APR boost is, and this is actually quite unique when it comes to other DeFi apps. Like typically when you're earning two things at once in DeFi, A, that is unique, and B, the people kind of have or developers have a difficulty in separating the APRs between two different assets. It becomes an issue, and more so in data integrity. So that was the improvement, to be able to show, hey, you're going to earn this much in bad idea, and you're going to earn this much in K9, and that's a feature that we wanted to prioritize, because of course we don't want this to be the last bonus campaign that we do. This is certainly being used by the DAO with a great partner that is going to be able to show other projects on Shibarium that they can do this as well, and it benefits their community and ours as well. So very proud of that feature. But there's also I know Turtle and Shima and Epo were fooling around on Testnet. Turtle could probably talk towards a little bit of an Easter egg there. I see Sizen and Couch are often on the Testnet. They may have found this already, but Turtle, if you want to talk about that fun little Easter egg, if people want to search for that.
Yeah. Every once in a while, we let the devs have fun, right? I mean, they have to stretch their legs and laugh a little. And on Testnet, and I mean, I say that jokingly, really, the devs are always in charge, you know how it goes. But the Easter egg you'll find on Testnet, if you just load it up and look down the left column, it should be pretty obvious. I'll leave a little bit of an Easter egg hunt, though, for how to get this Easter egg to happen on any page on the site. And there's actually a few different Easter eggs. So I think it's better to kind of let people find it on Testnet and see if they can figure out how to get that Easter egg to trigger. And maybe by next week, if no one's figured it out, I'll drop the final hint.
That'll be cryptic enough to send at least a couple of people looking for it. And if you guys find it, don't spoil it for everyone else. Don't immediately run in and write a big post about it or share a screenshot. Make sure you save some of the fun for everybody else. Maybe you can DM Turtle. I'm going to say this. This is not something that has been said to me. Turtle, is there any incentive maybe for like the first, 5 people after this Spaces that find it, is if they were to DM you proof somehow?
Yeah, don't know what it is yet, because that's a good idea, but I agree to it. And first 5.
Good luck, everybody. Hope you find the egg. Have fun. There's been updates to DeFi Llama as well. Buzz, can you talk about those?
Yep. So on DeFi Llama, one of the features that they have is you can basically search for any asset on there. And you can say, hey, I own SHIB, or I own Bone, or you can get as granular as pretty much any token that you own. But for anybody that is searching Bone, you can search for what are the best yield opportunities for my token. And again, you can do that for any token. But if you're searching Bone, you're going to be able to see the Bone Crusher opportunity come up, and it'll come up on the yield page for Bone. So we already have talked a lot about how many users DeFi Llama has, and a lot of people use this feature. So we're just looking for new, unique ways to get bone holders' attention. So if a bone holder is using DeFi Llama, they search their holdings, see what yield opportunities exist. Bone Crusher is now going to come up, and it's the highest yield opportunity and the only no impermanent loss yield opportunity on DeFi Llama as well.
Still working on that partnership with DeFi Llama, and we're still sending out those messages on a regular basis, right, Turtle? The campaign continues on?
Yeah, we do have communications going with DeFi Llama. Would like to get them on a space, not something they usually do, but working on that for us. for DeBank, the campaign to bone holders.
Oh, my bad. Yes, I mixed
okay.
I'm DeFi and DeBanking. That's my bad.
I mix them up too, no worries. And then on DeBank, the campaign has concluded the initial send to all the bone holders. The send going out to SHIB holders, it'll either be this weekend or on Monday. We're working on what we think the best timing is. And there'll be really no stop to that initiative. We're seeing results, and it's just a matter of staying consistent there and building out the funnels.
Week 3 or week 4 of me offering DeBank a spot on the speaker panel. One day they will love me. They will love me. They will come here. We will talk about their wonderful products. We will have a great time. They will share the spaces. This is manifestation, everybody. I hope you're all believing with me here, because it'll happen one day. It'll be a great time. I know that there's a list of utilities that have been requested, Buzz, and this is kind of like more of a. I viewed this as a Christmas list when you were telling me about this. You've reached out to the SHIB team for a list of utilities that you think would be helpful, or you're petitioning to find what you think would be helpful. What's the story with this list?
Oh, yeah. Actually the opposite. So, it was brought to the community brought up by the community that they love to kind of hear more about how K9 and the core developers of SHIB are working together on a daily and weekly basis. And it was just something that I wanted to touch on. So I know that Cal had reached out about just giving some more ideas, because they had seen on Twitter that we're posting about doing different stuff with DeBank and DeFi Llama, and kind of just wanted to do a bit of a brainstorm between the two teams of, hey, like what are all of the great things that we could look at to integrate into Shibarium, and not just Shibarium, but Bone and SHIB and Treat in the future. And we sent a pretty comprehensive list of a ton of DeFi tools and dev tools and platforms that we could be looking at. And I know some of them have already started being worked on since that discussion. So I think it was Mazriel who was putting out some tweets, and Lucy, just about getting Shibarium supported on Dex Screener. There's also just portfolio trackers that we made the team aware of, and I'm sure that they were aware of these, but sometimes it's really great to have it in a list and a targeted list to say, hey, this tool does this, good point of contact is here, just to kind of hopefully help streamline things as a community and do our part to be good Shibizens. There's some Oracle and data feed enhancements, so Chainlink, CCIP, API 3, Graph Protocol, different cross-chain bridges like Wormhole, on-chain analytics platforms. So we're kind of talking like Nansen, Arkham, DAP Radar, because I know Mazriel was even posting on Twitter just about wanting something like Shiba Eternity to be visible on DAP Radar, but DAP Radar didn't currently support Shibarium. So things like that is what we kind of aggregated as a list between the two teams to start picking away at it and really just grow the ecosystem. And we came up with a dev tooling list as well. So I know Shima and myself are big fans of Gelato Network and just the way that they can allow for automation of like smart contract execution. So some of this stuff gets super nerdy, more support for ERC 4337 smart wallets, and we found kind of like a bug and just how like EIP 1559 wasn't working properly in MetaMask on Shibarium, and just a long list of things like that. But I could go on, and I digress. I just wanted to touch upon the collaboration and between both of the development teams and how we're very committed to helping where we can.
That's good that people are asking, though. They're just curious about what might be going on, and sure, the little info drops like that, things that you might know about that you take for granted, might lift other people's spirits. So that's good. You made some changes for the logos that are on ShibaSwap. That's sort of related to what we're talking about. Can you tell me what the logo change or the submission was about?
Yeah, I think it was Maximus actually who submitted this, but I think it was yesterday that the SHIB team came out with an announcement, basically a process where you can via GitHub like request for different logos for tokens to be updated, and Maximus on behalf of the K9 community put in a request to update KN Bone, ESK9, and I believe K9 too, just to make sure that all the logos are showing up properly on ShibaSwap. And we also followed up with the team about having a bit of a disclaimer on the staking with stake Bone website, so like where you would stake Bone to a validator, and just have a disclaimer there to say, hey, like if you put Bone into the K9 validator from this website, it's not going to be liquid staking. If you want liquid staking, redirect to the K9 DApp, and they're in the process. I did see a ticket get created in Jira on their side to get that done, and just a follow up there. So mostly just letting the community know that these are not things that we've forgotten about, and are in close contact with the SHIB team to continue working forward. And I just know that they have a lot on their plate, and we're continuing. We're grinding and trying to get stuff done.
And when you say that Maximus put in the request, did you ask him to do that?
No, I did not ask him to do that. So it's great that you brought that up. Like those are the style of that's the style of thinking that really puts a smile on our faces when new features like that come out and community members take it up on their own accord to figure out how the request goes in and what's needed. That is really so much in the spirit of a DAO, and very much thank him for doing so, because I think for a lot of people, it is like their first course of action is like, why isn't this done? Why isn't this done? And I just love the approach that he took to identify a problem, find the solution, and then he came into the chat and showed, hey, I put in a request to solve this, and just a huge shout out for what he was able to do there.
And the reason I highlight this, and I'm going to throw the flowers to Mr. Lightspeed on this, because this is something that he and I have always operated on. Don't bring me a problem without bringing me a solution. And in this case, he brought you a solved problem and let you know it used to exist. That is a rarity in this industry. It's a rarity in Web 2 that you have anybody that'll, instead, normally what would have happened, you're right, what they would have done is they would have brought you maybe a post link telling you that something new was live and pointing out that you needed to go fix it. And in this case, instead of that, what happened was not even half of that. It was someone bringing you information that even you did not need to act upon. And I'm highlighting this very specifically on purpose, because there is a lot of people that would stand to benefit from understanding the value of that, and then the value of that not just for K9, but for like your relationship with Buzz or someone like Mr. Lightspeed, or if you want Funk's time, or if you want Turtle to answer your messages, boy, the bulk of your messages better be, hey, I hope you're doing great today. How can I help you? Because if all you're bringing people is shit to do, they're going to stop checking the inbox. Thank you, Maximus, for doing that. I appreciate that. And that he's not the only one that does things like that, but it's always worth highlighting. So I appreciate that, Buzz. And that's why I highlight it. You know why. I'll be the one to fight about that, right? It's about maximizing your time. It's delegation that we didn't even have to do. And Lightspeed, do you have any thoughts on that? Because I know that's literally your operational style. That's the whole nickname, right? Just like get that shit done immediately.
Exactly. I think most of the people that we've rolled into different roles over a bad idea have been people who've actually done some kind of found a solution to a problem and delivered on it. Bad ideas is a great example of someone finding another member of the community, finding opportunity and fully leveraging that to the point that they get noticed, and we're like, hey, come over into this group so we can chat some more, and drawing attention to themselves that way is a great way to work yourself into some inner circles, I think.
It is networking. It certainly helps. So thanks, Maximus. I want to just highlight that. So if anyone else out there comes across anything and they think to themselves, at any point, could I solve this before messaging the team? And you pull that off, you're going to get a lot more pats on the back for doing that than you will just bringing the problem to somebody. That'll be the last thing I say about that. Otherwise, I could go on and on and on. Looking around, Funk, I know you're sitting down there waiting around. What's going on in your world for the last 7 days? It's been a wild week since we last spoke. Bitcoin's gone crazy. What's in the pipeline for K9 in your mind?
Hey, I mean, you asked me, right? I missed the name there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Bitcoin is, rapidly approached 100K. Obviously, there was a pullback, and we started to see some ETH dominance kind of claw its way back, but now it seems like ETH is also kind of following a little bit of the Bitcoin trends in that regard. But what it all means for K9 is the number one thing I look at is Shiba Inu. We got the Shiba Inu main account here, and when we see SHIB soaring to 25 with Dogecoin as well, and those being the two mainstream kind of normie meme cryptos. Like if you're Oh, SHIB, your mic is not muted. No worries. When we see those tokens soar, we know that the normies are starting to look, because that's what people who are not, knee deep in DeFi, staring at their television screens or their computer screens rather for 14 hours a day, learning about protocols and liquidity staking derivatives. The people that are just like, oh, I heard the meme coin's going up, I'm going to buy it on Coinbase or whatever it is. They're buying those mainstream tokens, and that's showing that new money and new interest is coming in from outside of the DeFi sector. Now, of course, with those pumps, one big thing that I always think about is how to connect Bone to SHIB, right? And then how to further connect K9 to Bone and K9 to SHIB. So when SHIB is pumping and Bone is not as much, how can we educate people on how Shibarium is going to bring value to SHIB, the SHIB token, and how do we capture that part of the market? And so it's a really interesting question that, of course, the SHIB team and organization, but also all of us, because it is a decentralized space, have to work to build Shibarium adoption as well as Bone adoption. And then, in turn, that's going to increase the burns of SHIB. And then that's how you connect it to SHIB through those burns. And then K9, obviously, where that comes into play is next.
Let me ask you the same question that I asked Buzz. If Doge is going to get all this attention, it shot up past 42 cents. It's 72 cents is their previous all-time high. If Elon is going to have this role with Vivek, if Trump and this organization are going to be saying the name Doge out loud on television, what does this mean for tokens in general? What does this mean for Doge, in your opinion? What does it mean for Shiba Inu by extension? And then way down the line for products like Bone and K9, what does that mean for everyone?
Well, I think first and foremost, the new Department of Government Efficiency logo looks more like Shiba Inu than Doge. Just my 2 cents. I saw that there. I don't know if anyone else agrees with me, but that one looks like a Shiba Inu to me. Well, they're both Shiba Inus, but it looks more like the one from SHIB logo. But regardless, the dog tokens pump, and that there needs to be a front runner in the meme token in the DeFi space that then becomes the catalyst for people to expand. Because when something like Doge goes up to $1 or $2 or $3, when SHIB breaks another zero like it nearly did in that last pump that it went through, that basically puts a lot of money into everyday people's pocket wallets, either cold or either CEX or hot wallets, and then that funding goes somewhere, right? That funding has to go somewhere, especially after the hype has died down from those. Once it pumps to whatever it is, and then comes down to wherever it's going to come down to, people are going to want to start to move those profits somewhere. And again, we just need to be, we've got the official SHIB account here. We've got, so how we get it to K9 is kind of the goal, of course, is to be in those spaces, in those networks, being talked about along the same lines as SHIB, getting those Medium articles, all those different, on CoinDesk, on all these mainstream sites, and then people seeing, oh, like, I've heard of K9, I've heard of Bone, through those different articles and reaching those audiences.
Mind share, and that takes time. It takes dozens of applications, sometimes of a brand name or logo, before it actually creeps into your mind, and maybe you make a buying decision about it. And you're talking about things that are not just superficial things, but things like what Lightspeed has to do. You're talking like the small data aggregators, the small tracking websites, and all the stuff that, so that when someone comes across a product, they're like, man, I've seen this logo in like 7 different places, and I've read 4 articles from people I trust, right? That kind of saturation doesn't happen overnight, right, Funk?
Yeah, absolutely. And so it's definitely a big part of the SHIB's team, Shaitoshi and all them, to funnel the SHIB holders to Bone. But then it's our job through things like DeBank, through things like just our social media presence, to basically then try to funnel the Bone holders to both understand the value of buying K9 and the understanding as well that they need to buy K9 in order to really truly actualize the rewards from their Bone delegation to our validator. And so that's kind of where that funnel kind of lines up. So we use DeBank, we're using the Shibarium Discord, any place where there's going to be Bone holders, there's an opportunity there to get them to become K9 holders as well, and basically earn more for their Bone than anywhere else that I know of in the ecosystem right now.
Those are all really good points. It's just a good reminder for everyone that's here that when you're writing posts somewhere other than the Telegram group that already knows about it, just remember that you've got like a hierarchy of things you're trying to do. If you're just out there telling people buy K9 tokens and you're not giving them the why, then maybe it's not going to be as effective. But if you're out there like, hey, are you a bone holder and you've got, idle bone that's not earning, the messaging that you're using is going to have a lot to do with what's going on. And Funk's got that top-down vision. He just explained the funnel of how that all works. But when you're doing things and you're writing, are you thinking the same way as Funk is thinking? Because there's a funnel, and depending on who you're commenting on or what part of what conversation you're getting into, you just need to slide in there and be like, this person's at that point, I'm going to mention this. So those are all great points. Thank you, Funk, for getting into all that and giving us the updates on that. Now, Buzz had said something to me that I am intrigued about that I wrote down. I'd like to learn a little bit more about as we are looking at the clock. You mentioned SubDAO for marketing, and I want to wrap my head around that. Can you help me do that?
Yeah, that's not anything that is finalized. This was you talked about problems and solutions, and that is basically what the roundtable is for, and the governance of the DAO is for, is to identify strengths and weaknesses in K9 and pose potential solutions for that. So one of the discussions that came out of Monday's roundtable meeting was that there could be opportunity to, with this new budget that is seemingly going to be voted through by holders, but could be opportunity to set up a marketing sub-DAO whose mission would be specifically to market the token. And the KPIs of this sub-DAO would be to gain more holders, gain more users, and of course, what everyone wants to hear is price appreciation of the token. And as part of the overall budget that's likely going to be granted through this vote, there could be a very, very decent sum of money that would be given to a sub-DAO that would be completely in charge of that. So I do expect that there will be a proposal that'll be put into the forum to enable this DAO, and also decide how much money from the multi-sig would be sent to this DAO. And when I say DAO, it's really a person or a group of people that are going to put their hand up and get, say, $5,000, $10,000, or $15,000 a month from the DAO multisig with the sole purpose of promoting K9 and gaining KPIs on the token. So that was a discussion that came out of that, and so expect a proposal. This is all very much so in the ideation stage, but the essence is that the marketing funnel may need some more autonomy, and people to put up their hand and say, hey, I could do an awesome job with $10,000 or $15,000 a month. And of course, you'd be beholden to the community to kind of have results and really show that the money that's being granted from the DAO multisig is being put to good use and is meeting the expectations of the community. But that was just an idea. And where that comes from is that in DAOs, as they grow, like Lido, for example, it often starts out as one entity. And that entity is like, hey, this DAO exists to build the product and execute on the roadmap, and contingents form. So for example, with Lido, there's even a DAO that is responsible just for signing up other validators. And this DAO gets a sum of money every month or every year. They put a budget forth to the overarching DAO that says, hey, here's what we're doing, here's how much money we need, we're making these hires, and budgets get approved and delegated down. So I think Lido has over 15 sub-DAOs within their DAO, and just kind of breaching the first discussion about setting up the first sub-DAO for K9, which would be responsible specifically for token-based marketing, and they would get a budget to do so. So the exact budget, the people who would be involved, the structure, the disclosures that they would need to provide to the DAO, all of that is up for discussion in the forum. So all I would really say on that is expect a post and sort of a process to be put in place of how the individual or individuals would be chosen to steward that money.
A very interesting idea. Something to look forward to both in the forum and in the coming months as that works its way out, because as we are rolling into the holiday season, remember guys, I've mentioned this last time around too, but as you go through the US holiday season here, there are back-to-back holidays. US businesses often have people taking their paid vacations and stuff like that at the end of the year. Hell man, people batch their medical procedures now just in the United States because all their money is in their accounts. What I'm saying is there might be some people that are slow to respond to stuff over the next couple of weeks. So as we go through the rest of this stuff, just keep your eyes on the forum. Turtle does a great job at forum.k9finance.com. Remember, it's sign up Thursday, half off signups today. It's 50% off of free if you sign up today. Make sure you tag me in your first post. We always look for signups. Those are the places you need to keep your eyes on, because those will be the developing conversations, and they're the most meaningful ones. I'm not saying that Telegram isn't a fun place, but the forum is where the real thoughtful conversations about where things are moving forward will be. And we appreciate Turtle and all the team for keeping that alive over there. And Declan, I see you requesting. I'm kind of testing it. What I'll do is I'm going to let Buzz do Buzz's Corner, and then I'll let you up. And if you're hoping to talk to the SHIB account, know that they won't and they won't do that. And if you're coming up here to shill, I'll put you down real quick. But I will give you a chance to come up just because I think I recognize your account. So after Buzz's Corner, I'll bring you up. Give me an emoji at some point if you heard all of the words that I said. Within the last 7 days, Buzz, your corner is probably more like a literal full storage room at this point. Is there anything specific that's been on your mind that you might feel like getting off your chest or talking about here that you haven't talked about anywhere else yet?
It's definitely been a busy week. I just had a discussion with Anthony Scaramucci that was really fun about real estate on the blockchain, and he wasn't the only one there. There was also Grant Cardone, who was part of that conversation, and I've seen this in past cycles, right? Like things like that make me extremely bullish when people with millions of followers on X and are celebrities in their own right, whether it be in the investment space or any space, really start in their own niche coming and out of the woodwork and starting to talk about crypto when Bitcoin starts reaching all-time highs. So that was a really fun discussion, but what I'm most looking forward to is actually this space on Saturday, which will be the SHIB versus Doge space. I know the SHIB account will be there. I know that Mario's team is sourcing a lot of different speakers for this space, so not only from the SHIB side, but the Doge side as well. And I'm sure that if anybody kind of follows Mario's account, they can kind of make their own judgments as to the types of people that they've probably invited, and some of the biggest people out there who talk about Doge. So that I think that's I'm looking forward to that 5% or 10% possibility or whatever it may be of some of those individuals joining. I think that would be such an amazing opportunity to showcase everything that's being built in the Shibarium ecosystem, and of course K9 fits into that puzzle as well. And I just want to put people's attention to my tweet in the nest. So one thing that tweet is calling for is tagging members of the SHIB army that should be speaking on behalf of SHIB. I know that this tweet has seemingly sparked a lot of debate in the Shibarium Tech Telegram channel. I did see some messages there earlier that I think were deleted. I know that Archangel, who's listening in here, is part of that chat, but there's a call to action in the tweet, and it's that if you think, and if you're listening in, if you think someone would be a really good person to speak on behalf of the SHIB army, to nominate them. And even if you don't have an idea of who you would want to speak on behalf of the community, definitely would love people to post arguments and things to discuss and things that would really, if somebody, think about it from this perspective. If somebody's showing up to that space, there's going to be a lot of listeners. And if somebody's showing up and they only own Doge, what are the arguments that we would make as a community to show that SHIB really is a Doge killer, and to really highlight what SHIB has put together in the last 3 years since the last bull run? That would make somebody really, really want to take a second or third look into the SHIB ecosystem and maybe become a bigger member. So what are those points? What are those debate topics? And I'd love to just get some more participation from the community to get involved there.
So, speaking as Pulse Digital and not as K9 Finance, because I will also be there with you on Saturday and co-hosting this thing. I've been thinking about this a lot, and I got something I want to give you to chew on that I think is going to be a factor. Most SHIB holders probably hold Doge, but not all Doge holders give a damn about SHIB. And that's what's got to be overcome on Saturday. There is a lot of Doge holders that are just going to have this, well, why should I attitude? Or they're going to be a high and mighty, I don't need to get into meme coins, or I don't do ERC 20s. They're going to come up with a reason. And if you want to come and debate that they should be getting involved, or they should be taking a deeper look, how are you going to sell it to them? Is it going to be the NFTs? Is it going to be the gaming ecosystem? Is it going to be the DeFi that's being provided by K9 Finance? What's your arsenal? Do you have prepared documents? Are you ready to back it up? Because you can't just open this thing up and be like, but bullish. You can't. It's not going to work. This is the biggest show on X, and the Doge people are coming for you. It's not going to be easy, because it's going to be easier for them at the top of the mountain where all the food is at than it is for you, the hungry dog, coming up from the bottom of the hill. So you're going to have to fight to get a bite. And I'm excited that Buzz and I get to do this. I think I made that as dramatic as I need to convince you all to check the tweet up above that Buzz has written. It's got a link to this whole thing on Saturday. You can tune in. And then guess what else? Immediately following the closure of the 1 hour SHIB versus Doge debate, there is also an LTD Spaces after party. You can immediately close out of that if we can close that damn thing on time, ideally at an hour. Then you can flow right over to LTD afterwards, and we're going to have spaces over there. And we've got some project highlights and updates that are going on over there. So I hope to see a lot of the same faces move over there. And I hope that Buzz and I can figure out a way to mention that in a way that doesn't get us fired. So we can get everybody over to the LTD Spaces. So stay tuned to see whether Buzz and I get shit canned on Saturday at the SHIB versus Doge Spaces. I'm so excited, Buzz. My anticipation is very real about that. Are you coming locked and loaded? I'm asking you as co-host to co-host on this one. Since we're in the co-host spots, are we actually supposed to pick a side? Like, do you have to pick SHIB, and do I have to argue for Doge to keep this even? What are your thoughts?
I don't care what you do, but I know that I'm going to be arguing for SHIB.
Okay, I'll take I don't care what you do flatly delivered for 500. That's going to be my highlight reel for the spaces, and I'm going to use it the next time somebody questions the way I use this account. This is what Buzz said. He said, I don't care what you do. That'll be so good. Anybody that is here, Turtle, thoughts on the SHIB versus Doge debate? What do you think that's going to be like on Saturday? Do you think they're going to come swinging?
Yeah, I mean, I think it now more than ever, communities are finding ways to support each other. Like it's my third cycle as well, and everything does feel a bit different. It's like people have kind of figured out how to behave and work together. So I hope it's a cordial but kind of contested, hot debate. At the end of the day, bringing more eyeballs to both communities from each other's communities is a win-win for everybody. And being some of the most legacy meme coins, like was pointed out earlier, I think they continue to perform well and continue to get a lot of attention. So increasing the mind share, like the word you use, Shane, is the perfect way to put it. And I can't wait to hear Buzz take the gloves off on Saturday. That's what it sounds like is coming.
I hope so too. Funk, I hope you get a chance to pull up too, because I know you run deep with SHIB community, with things you're doing at BarkBot and all the projects you work with at CoinMerge and stuff. So brand accounts roll up. Are you going to try and send some people over there? What do you think about Saturday? Mic check, might still be muted, might not be here. Either way, one way or another, I would encourage anybody down there with brand accounts. As I look around the room, I see Corrupt Fun is here and some other places. Sharby is usually here. Bring your brand accounts because I'm not saying that we're going to be able to get you speaker spots. It's going to be a very difficult event to get speaker spots open, but we definitely need to see gold checks and speaker or brand accounts in the listeners for that one as much as possible. So I'm looking forward to it. It'll be a screenshot extravaganza. I think we'll all be able to walk away with some stuff and hopefully some good audio clips. And I'm looking for a couple of classic Buzz zingers too. Before we get out of here, Buzz, final thoughts before we close out, because it's just you and me and Turtle up here hanging out as far as I'm concerned. So before we go, Turtle, you got anything? And then we'll go to Buzz.
Yeah, I just wanted to comment a little bit on the market conversation from the beginning of the space. I mentioned it last week, and I want to mention it again. We're entering or have entered the first time that I'm aware of a regulatory clear environment for Ethereum with the Trump administration. And as Buzz pointed out, ETH has, done okay in comparison to Bitcoin as we've seen Bitcoin run up. But if you've been here long enough, you're familiar with these patterns. And I expect Bitcoin dominance to run higher. I expect things to be unpredictable. But I think it would be foolish not to understand how the regulatory environment is cleared with the transition in the US government and what that likely means for Ethereum. And I think we're seeing that in the ETF inflows. And so without giving financial advice, I'll stop there.
ETF inflows had record days, and also Bitcoin had its biggest single daily candle ever. I mean, I know that seems too simple to look at, but can that be overstated, Turtle?
No, I mean, you're seeing the final capitulation of people who have held for a long time, and those tokens are moving into institutional endowment or other big hands. And yeah, you don't want to be the one to sell too early.
You do not. Even things that I was sort of skeptical on all managed to make climbs back that lit a fire in me. The beacons of Gondor, as it were, began to shine once more. I was very excited about it. And I appreciate that. Sorry I didn't slice off more time for your market updates. It was very rude of me to cram it in at the end like that. Next week, I'm going to get you a little bit more time, okay? I apologize. Buzz, as we close out the spaces, final thoughts leading into the Saturday show?
Final thoughts. I think that I would just really appreciate people's arguments being commented on that post up there in the Jumbotron, and especially to tune in. It's going to be fun.
It's going to be fun. I'm going to be there. Be there or be square is what it's going to be. I appreciate you guys letting me host another K9 Finance Weekly DAO Update Spaces, episode 43, cruising through mid-November, headed towards fall. You guys, we already mentioned how Thanksgiving falls on a Thursday this time around. I want to keep reinforcing that. I am going to do my darndest to still be here. Even though I believe I am having guests over and we are cooking a Thanksgiving dinner, I'm going to sneak away like a total POS and still manage to host at least a good half of a show so that we can still say we've got the streak going. But I'm giving Buzz and some of the other regular guests some time off. I'm going to say this every time as we go. They will not have to be here every time. So there will be some different formats coming up. Remember, Funk and Buzz and Turtle and the SHIB account and stuff like have actual lives. I don't want to blow your minds, but they might have other things to do. So if you come in here one day and it's just me and I'm reading a Christmas story to you or whatever, don't freak out. I don't want to hear anything about it, but I look forward to spending more time with you, and we'll do it again 7 days from now. We're going to catch back up. We're going to get things like I'm looking forward to snapshot information about how all that goes. I'm looking to information about the dashboard, which I didn't bother to ask about, but we'll get updates. I want to hear about success stories for the bad idea bonus tokens, which are going live in 2 minutes and change right now. If you guys are sitting there waiting to hit the button on that, so look forward to it, and I'll see you guys there. My name's Pulse Digital behind the K9 Finance account. Look forward to seeing you next time on a K9 Finance Weekly DAO Update Spaces. Have a great afternoon. We appreciate you.